Welcome again to my YouTube channel Fitness Speed Computer Geek. In the last lecture, we have seen theoretical lesson on function, what are function and how it is useful when designing our code. Okay. Also, I have shown you some analogy of function. Okay, by taking real world example there. So now let's show you some coding example. Okay, so if you have any doubt in that theoretical concept that I have taught you there in the last two lectures, it will be clear in this lecture. Okay, I hope it will be clear. I will try my best to explain all the theory by giving the most efficient coding example. But the concept get cemented in your mind. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's begin. Let's now hop up to my code block. Double click on it. Okay, so now let me create new file. Remember Ctrl+Shift+N, and for saving it Ctrl+S and save it in the FS file folder itself. So let me name it as function. Okay, save it. So now let me just include header file. Standard input.io.h void main. Okay, so now let us design the code which I have shown in our first coding lecture, that is sum of two number. Let us try to write that code using function here. Okay, you will understand here the basic of function. Okay, how it is called and what is called function, what are formal argument, what are actual argument. If you have any doubt in the last lectures, okay, last two lectures, so it will be clear in this lecture. Okay, so watch it. So yeah, I told you that function definition can be present in anywhere in the code. Okay, in our program, entire program, I could write function definition here, or I could write function definition here. Okay, so let me write. So it is good practice to write function definition before the main function, because in main function we call that function. So it will be convenient to write it. Otherwise you can do anything you want, but most of programmers do that. Okay, so let me do that. So void, suppose I will show you. Suppose this function, let's not print it void, let's give it an end. Okay, so that is sum. So what are the argument that we need to pass here? You might be knowing that before designing function you must be. So what could be the argument that we need to pass in this function? Okay, so it depends on your logic, what the code is do, what is code is about to do. So what does this function will do here? Sum will calculate the sum of two numbers. So for that we have to pass the two numbers in that argument list. Okay, so it could be integer type. Suppose we want to find only integer type addition here, so I will use integer type here for your convenience. Okay, you can use any data type you want. Okay, don't use that char data type, because it will, yeah, you can use it, it will know, so as error, but it will not logically correct, because we want to calculate the sum of two numbers. Okay, so hope you getting it. So int a, suppose we pass the two number as int b. Okay, so now let me define one variable, that is sum, and initialize with 0. Let me keep it a value sum gs equal 0. So what we want to do? We want to, whatever the argument have user pass, we just want to calculate its sum. So write s as a plus b, then we will just return s. Okay, the value of s. So this function will return value of s, as it is a return type integer here. Okay, so in main function what will you do? We will just take input from the user. Okay, notice that I can use same variable name here also, because this is different block of code, and these variables are called local variable. Okay, I will get into the scope topic, then you will understand it very well. And these are local variables, so these are not, these will be only unique within a code or within a block. So you can use different same variable in different blocks of code. Okay, hope you are getting it. So I can use here int b. Let's take input from the user. Printf enter the value of a and b. So store the value in a comma b, then use scanner to give it an address, okay, location in your hard drive. So what will you write? You write percentage d here and the variable itself. So we are defining two variables, so we'll need 2% d. Hope you remember that. Okay, so now we have taken a user from the value from the user. So what we'll just do, call that function now. So how we'll calling? If you remember, it have no return type and no argument list, argument data types. Okay, so just pass this, and it will, it will automatically take you back, go back to this function, and it has return type int, so it will just print the sum. Okay, return s, and you can write it printed here. Okay, I will say that I will show you later. Okay, so just keep it simple here. This is the simplest version you can design here. So let's see after compiling and running what it is giving us. So enter the value of nv. Suppose I entered 2 3, so you can see that it had returned the value 5. Okay, 5. Okay, so let me just pass another number. So let me just 543 enter 45. So you can see that it's giving 7900. Notice that it is not printed here itself. Okay, because we didn't use the print statement here, so it is just returning the value here. Okay, so you can understand this way. Okay, so it is the basic way of designing functions. So suppose now, what can you do in this case now? So suppose let us now make this as void. Okay, means no return type will be here, so we don't need to use return statement. Now we will see the difference here, and you can also get the difference between printf statement and return statement. So we will just print the value of sum. Okay, so let me just do it. So 23,45, suppose it's returning something else here. So you might have guessed what have done. I am wrong there. Okay, so we are not getting any value there. So notice that I use some variable here, but sum is a function. Okay, so and the variable we want to print is s, so I have done something wrong here. Okay, so keep these things, okay, and check always. Now you can see that it will run properly. Okay, you can see that. So this is the second way of designing our function. So now let me show you the third way. How can you do that? Third way is, you can design it whichever way you want. Okay, by doing lots of practice, the logic will be clear to you automatically. Okay, so just practice more and more. I am showing you the 3 to 4 way here. So just practice, and whatever I am doing, you do the same using in your IDE. Okay, and see the output. Okay, so it will, in this way you will learn easily, and it will be faster. Okay, so let me just define this as int data type, and what we want to do here, we will just return as we want, return s value. Okay, we can do that, and then again we just print this value. Okay, so sum will return some value here. Okay, so just define some variable like t and store the value at here, because sum has int data type. You can see that somewhere int data type, so it will return some value. So we have to cache that value. So this variable used to cache that value and just print that value. Printf percentile d t. So now we will see that what will happen. We will do the same thing, but in a different way. I'm just showing you. Okay, I'm just forget the semicolon. So let me just pass 4 and 7 now. 11. Okay, you can see the same output has coming. So this is the third way. So now let me show you the fourth way. Okay, so hope you are getting it. So you can also didn't pass the argument itself here. We can ask the value from its value in itself here, and just call the function. We can also do it in that way without, these are coded without argument function. Okay, we just don't need to pass this variable. So we can do it in a faster way. Okay, so no, not faster way, this is other way of doing it. Okay, so let me just do these things in a function itself. So let me see what will happen then. Now you can say the code had been reduced. So this is the exact way how it is done actually. don't pass the t also. Okay, we don't need now. So what can we do that? You can directly, without storing, you can directly use this in a print statement itself. Okay, and whatever value it will store, it will cached by this percentile d, and it will print it on the screen. Okay, hope you are getting it. So just move it, and just also, and just pass this thing. Pass the whole function here. Okay, this is also example of function within a function. You can see printer is also a function, and this is also a function. It will return a value which will catch by this percentage d, and printer will use that value, use that to print in the screen. Okay, so you can see that now the main body has reduced to so much. Okay, so now you can see the advantage of function here. Okay, whenever you want to do lots of job in a single program, you can just encapsulate all the things in a function. Okay, which I have told you, the function of property of function, that it encapsulates everything what's going on. Okay, so let me show you that. So whatever, just return this value. Okay, so save it, it will do the same thing here. Okay, you can see that. Okay, sorry, I am passing the argument here. Sorry, it's non-argument function. So let me just give you the value. Okay, 11. So you can see that this is the one other way of doing it. Okay, so you do whatever way pleases you. Okay, so but it is more convenient way of doing that. Okay, so let me now optimize the code, because everything, whenever the code become too large, so if you design some software here, so this optimism will help you to find the error faster and show your code in a concise way. So let me also reduce this part also. So we don't need s here also. Okay, we can directly return this expression also. If you remember that return used to have expression there. Okay, not only variable, it uses expression there. So I can write it directly here, a plus b. Bracket is using the bracket is optional. So let me see that it will give you the same output here. Okay, so suppose I print 6 7. Yeah, you can see that this is the I think 5th way of doing it. Okay, so I have shown you 5 different way of designing your own function. Okay, so you can do any way, whatever you please. So just watch this lecture 3 to 4 times, and do do the same thing whatever I am doing in the lecture. Okay, in this way you will learn faster. Okay, hope you getting it. In this way you will learn faster. So you can this is I think the most convenient way of doing this. Okay, so just one statement is there. Okay, so now moving on, you can design it using and whatever you want now. So now let us show you designing a calculator. If you remember, I have designed a calculator, okay, using if else statement, then use it again if switch case statement. Now let us see how we can design this a calculator using functions. Okay, now we will ask the user whatever you operation want to perform, and we'll do accordingly. So let me remove these things, remove this function also. You can use int main here. Okay, so let me show you what happens if you int main and just return 0 here at the end. So you can also change the main function too. Okay, if you want. So let me now design the function for each of operation. Okay, so suppose user entered, suppose we ask the user, we will design this code in a more dynamic way. Suppose we ask the user to enter whatever operation you want to perform, like you have seen in switch case coding section and also if else coding section there. So please refer to that lecture. Okay, if you are getting confused here. So let me design our function here. So suppose suppose first function is sum. Okay, so now, so what will be the most beneficial to do here? Use argument here, or declare the variable itself in the function. What will be the more easiest way? So if you do this thing that didn't pass the variable, you have to define and declare every variable in every function. So without doing that, let's just define the variable in a main function and just pass that as a actual parameters to this formal parameters. Okay, so now the formal parameter, actual parameter concept will also clear to you. Okay, so what we are doing. So what we are getting is you learn more things by doing practical, by learning the theory. Okay, so that's why I press so much in giving you coding example here. Okay, so you will understand it very well. Okay, don't use shortcuts here. You might see many lectures in YouTube that will show you that is shortcut. Okay, to learn this theory and just do, and you will learn everything. It's not like that. Okay, you have to practice it. So let me just pass the value now. Okay, it will be more easier. You can see that int ab, and just do the operation whatever we want and return this operation. So return suppose we return as a plus b. Now copy this function, copy. So let me just paste it. So what you want to do now, subtract this number. Okay, so again now whatever we want to do, we want to find the product of this number. We want to find the integer division of that number. Okay, so now we're getting we design a specific function for everything. So just name this. This is subtract function. This is product. This is division. DIB. So remember the naming of function also. Okay, don't write something vague that you don't understand whenever you come to debug this code. Okay, hope you're getting it. I explained in the last lecture. So we have just design our function here. You see 4 function. So now hope the everything become now somewhat making sense to you now. Okay, so now what we want to do, we just take the input from the user, int ab. Let's define char c, suppose for choice. So now we'll ask the user, enter the opera operation you want to perform. Let's just give him a choice here. So store this in a char variable, scanf. Don't use %d here, remember that it will make the value change. Use %c here, okay, for character. Hope you remember these things. I've explained in the previous lectures also. So printf, enter the operation of one to and save the number in choice. So now let's take the take input from the user. Enter the values of a and b. So we just store it in a comma b. So now we will also store it in c here. Okay, so now scanf %d space %d, and we want 2 numbers. So okay, so now let's begin our switch case now. If you remember it, the syntax. Case, suppose first case is what, plus. So what will you do, we will just call the function sum here. Okay, if you are getting it what I am doing here. Okay, I'm just using the function to design these things. Or break, don't forget to use the break here. So just copy this thing. Not tedious to write every time. Sometimes coder also do the copy pasting what developer used to do, web developer usually do. So change the value. Okay, so don't forget to change the name of function also. So that was known as sub, and this was known as pro, multiplication part. And this was known as division and div. So now in this way we design our function now. Okay, so design our code here. So use the default. So now default will be what? Wrong operator, I guess. Printf wrong. See now, I will show you another way of doing this also. So let's use the break here, okay, for convenience purpose. Okay, so now we have our code has been designed now. So just use a print statement along with this, okay. So because we are returning a value, there is nothing to catch here, so just use a printf function %d used to catch the variable. Okay, use the same thing here, printf okay, clear. This is clear to you, okay. Just follow me if you're not getting it, okay. You will definitely get it after practicing. Let's do the last part here. Okay, so now let's do it. Hope there is no error here. Save the file, build and run. Okay, there is error here. Okay, I didn't forget to. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so suppose we want to perform plus. Enter the value where suppose we want to perform. So you can see that it is going perfectly fine. Okay, so let us do one more example. Suppose we now want to perform subtraction here. Okay, so suppose take the value as 8 9. Okay, subtraction is working fine. So you can so see that our code is working fine. Let me show you the multiplication part also. So 8 64 might be, yeah, okay, it is working fine. Now let's see the division part. So you can see here we have designed the same thing using suppose design 12 and 4. Okay, so you can see 3. So our code is working perfectly fine here. Hope you have get some insight of function, how it is doing it, how we are doing it. So you can do it in your own way. So you can also see that this is the most effective way of doing it. Okay, instead of writing these things, okay, always taking the value from the user, we just write it in the main function and just pass those argument. Okay, so this formal argument are converted in actual argument are converted into formal arguments in these cases. Okay, so you can see it is working perfectly fine. So now this lecture is making so much big, so just it is first lecture of your coding. I don't want to get dig into it. We will divide this lecture into 2 or 3 more part. Okay, so for your convenience. So in the next lecture I will show you how to design this calculator by asking the user every time. Okay, without you can see here the policy of the program is whenever we perform one operation, then we have to we can only perform only one operation. Suppose user want to do more than one operation. Now we'll give user a choice and run this choice until he entered a wrong value or he didn't want to do any calculation. Okay, I will show you that. Okay, how to design a menu there. Okay, so thanks for watching. So let's see you in the next one.